Hey, what's going on, everybody? Draggy Pair, and welcome back to another What If. Now, today's What If and tomorrow's What If are going to be a little different from my previous Overwatch My Hero Academia What Ifs. Because you see, in the last What Ifs that I did I said, what if Deku was that particular person in Overwatch? But for today and tomorrow, well, I'm going to do, what if Deku was related to that particular person? Whether it be father or mother. In this case, father. What if Deku was the son of Winston? Or what if Deku was Winston's son? Oops. If this video gets to 10 likes by the end of the month, I will continue it to the end. Right. But with that out of the way, let's get straight on into it. Now, it starts off with Winston. Well, a gorilla named Winston, who was captured. He was surrounded by books, eventually started reading them, eventually teaching himself physics, engineering, math, science, and of course, how to speak English. A few years have passed, and Winston is still captured. And the guys who captured Winston took some of his blood and instilled the quirk into Winston. It's called Primal Rage. Yes, like in the game. Anyways, basically, he gets incredibly strong, but when he does he loses control. Winston eventually uses his quirk to escape. But a few hours later, he finds out that some of his blood has been stolen. And a day before that they kidnapped a woman, Inko Midoriya. So Winston decided that he was going to go over there and end those guys once and for all. And Kamui Woods decided to help him out a bit. The guys that kidnapped Inko injected Inko with Winston's blood, hoping that it'll turn her into a gorilla. But it didn't. And they just thought it had no effect, which ticked them off a bit. But then Winston and Conway Woods pulled up. Winston destroyed any trace of his blood that was left. And Conway Woods helped bring in the villains. They both soon grabbed Dinko and went to UA. Where they met up with Nezu. And after a few tests, they found out that the blood did have an effect. Whereas it made Inko where the blood made Inko pregnant. It's 'cause logic. Yeah, anime logic. Anyways. And they're getting rather confused because they think that this kid will be half human, half gorilla. Look, and they never really experienced this. I mean, sure, they experienced people with animal mutation quirks or transformation quirks, but never for someone who is literally half human and half another animal. Nine months have passed, and the baby was born. And Izuku Winston and Inko decided to name the kid Izuku. Whoops. Come on. Alright. Soon after Izuku was born, they did a scan, and it just proved their theory. The DNA scans proved that Izuku was in fact half gorilla. Inko is getting worried because she doesn't know what's going to happen. So she goes, what's going to happen? What are we going to do? Winston reassures her and says, to be honest, Inko, we don't know if we can do anything right now. You see, we don't even know what abilities this kid is gonna get. We don't even know when his quirk is gonna activate. Or even if he has a quirk. He might, though. There's an 80% chance that he will have a quirk. But that 20% chance still raises questions. So So Winston has decided to live with Inko in a beautiful house. Well, Inko and Izuku. And what? And 4 years have passed. Izuku is 4 now, and it turns out that Winston was correct. They both took Izuku to the quirk doctor, and they found out that he does have a quirk, but also 2 other things. Winston curious says, "What 2 other things?" The doctor says, "Well, I've tested it, and these abilities, these are unlike anything I've ever seen. I think it might have to do with the fact that he's half gorilla, but I'm not quite certain. Though that does have its own possibility." The abilities I'm talking about is 1, he can turn into a massive green gorilla. Well, and Winston goes, "Green gorilla? Now that's something I want to see." And the doctor continues saying, and the second ability that he has, I found out on accident. I left a little dog sitting next to Izuku, and he was having a conversation with it. I soon found out that he is able to communicate with other animals, not just humans. And Winston goes, "That does make a lot of sense." And Inko goes, "What about his quirk?" And the doctor goes, "Oh, his quirk. Well, I call it Call of the Wild. Basically, if he touches any animal with just 1 finger or more, he's able to turn that creature into its own form of into a monster. The monster... Now, let me explain this. Explain Call of the Wild. Now, the type of monster that Izuku makes the animal or plant if he so chooses, to create is solely dependent on what type of plant or or animal that he places his fingers on. He can turn multiple creatures or plants into monsters. But they each have... But when he does that they each have a time limit. Basically, there's a certain amount of time before they turn back to normal. But back to the story. The doctor explained the quirk to him, and then said, while you guys were taking Inko there, Kamui Woods actually sent me a fox that he found 4 years and 9 months ago. He says that it's immortal. He turns around and picks up a tiny red fox and hands it over to Izuku. The doctor then says to Izuku, "Mr. Midoriya, this shall be your companion. Make sure to take care of it and to train your quirk on it whenever possible." Come on! Okay. Izuku gave the doctor a nod, and then Inko, Izuku, and Winston went back to their house. 10 years have passed, and Izuku has trained his quirk and his abilities. These and his bond with his tiny fox friend that he calls Hound. Because that's basically like his name. Anyways, he gets to class and Hound just doesn't want to leave Izuku, so Hound is just placed on Izuku's shoulder. They're just laying on it or sitting on it. The white one. Anyways, he gets to class, and Izuku says, "Okay, Hound, stay calm, alright? We don't need another outburst, alright?" He then puts a glove on Vaughn and pets Hound. Because if he doesn't have the glove on, he would turn Hound into a monster, and he doesn't want that yet. The teacher gets in. He says that maybe you should go blah blah blah. Yeah, I know you want to be heroes. Come on. And then Bakugo immediately does his little speech, like, I'm gonna be the best pro hero. I'm gonna go to UA Right. And the teacher says, oh yeah, hey Midoriya, don't you also want to go to UA? But unfortunately, that's where I'm going to leave it off. So, thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, boom, hit that like button on face. Catch you next one, guys. Laters.